Hi everyone, it's Robin, the Artsy Bohemian, here in my studio in Los Angeles, California. I am going to be showing you things that will be for sale in my monthly Artsy boutique. It happens to coincide with the last part of making this journal. So I will continue this, but it won't be until next Tuesday, and we will finish it. I just wanted to show you the other one that I had finished using the same techniques, and I love the way it came out, using the Tim Holtz tissue paper and some doilies, some just white doilies. You can see here. And same process, Mod Podging it. So I really like that, and I will show you my plans on how to bind this buttonhole stitch spine. It's going to be really fun, and we're going to be using beads to do it. Alright, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to have for sale in my Artsy boutique. It's going to be today at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I live in the west of the United States, and so you can look up Google and find out what 5 p.m. is in your time zone. I'm going to start out with showing you some really old doll parts, because that seemed to be pretty popular in the last sale. And if there's anything you want me to provide as far as what I sell in the boutique, just leave a comment down below and let me know. So there's going to be 4 of these kits, and they all have a antique doll head. These, for those of you who don't know, were from a factory in Germany. I don't know how to pronounce the name of it. It starts with, it's a like Thuringen, but that's not how you say it in German. They've been in the dirt for over 100 years, and they've been excavated by some people that live over in that area. And I usually buy them in huge bulk, several hundred at a time. And I have so many that I can start selling them to you. And if you've taken my Altered Art Bottle class, you'll know what to do with these. If you haven't, that's okay. If you're artistic, you'll figure out something fun to do. But basically, you will be getting a antique doll head. They're all going to be different, and they're all going to be broken. The heads aren't broken, but the shoulder plates will be non-existent or completely broken. If you know how to cut tile, if you have a tile cutter, you can take the excess off, or you can just use it on a cloth body, or just any kind of, body that you want to use. I happen to like using bottles, but you can use fabric, or you can use those Christmas tree cones that are made out of a hard cardboard. So anyway, you're going to get a bottle, a doll head, something to put on top of the glass. These will all be listed separately, so you have a choice of what medallion you want. There'll be antique doll arms and doll legs. These are all ceramic bisque. And here's the doll legs. Of course, if you're a jewelry maker, you can make cute jewelry with these little pieces, because they have holes in them. If you want to solder them, they have holes on the sides to wire them. You can make cute earrings. You don't have to use it to make a doll. You're also going to get, pull some of these away, a very old, I have no idea how old these are, but they're kind of chipped and broken, and they're made with enamel on top. Watch faces, probably for pocket watches at the time. And yeah, they're very, very old. Some of them, like I said, are going to be cracked. So you'll get one of those. You're also going to get about a foot or 2 of this super rusty wire. Some kind of filigree. 2 old watchmaker's vials. These are also glass. A little rusty bell, tiny little rusty bell charm. This is some kind of seal or label for Tavern Parawax. So you'll get one of those. It still has the adhesive on the back. So you'll get one of those. And you're also going to get a swatch of this super old, brittle lace. And it's discolored like that. It's very easy to tear. So you're going to get some of that. Oh, and some sari silk probably too. There might be a couple of other things, but they'll all be laid out. You'll be able to see them in the pictures in my Etsy store. And there will be a link down below for my Etsy store. That's where I'm going to be selling everything. So you'll be getting those. I have all of them out just to kind of show you the different heads. These ones are going to be a little bit more expensive because that's just the nature of these doll heads. Because they have the blush and the lips on there. This one won't be. This one will be a little bit less because it was never colored. But these are easy to paint. I show you how to do that also in my online class. I'll leave a link down below if you want to check out the online class for altered art bottles. You get to make necklaces and decorative altered art pieces. Alright, so the next group of old doll heads are the larger ones. These are pretty big. These are probably good for a 12 to 18 inch doll. And it measures from top of the head to the bottom of the shoulder plate about 3.5 inches. And at the widest part, she is about 2.25 inches wide. Dirty. They're really dirty. Whenever I get these, they're filthy because they literally, when they dig them out of the dirt, they don't really clean them off. So I've cleaned them off as much as I could when I bought them, and then you'll just have to do the rest. This one's absolutely gorgeous. She has, you can see the painted eyes and her little nostrils and eyebrows. So she's pretty cool. And then these two dolls here. There will be more. I just have to go through all of my pieces and they're kind of hard for me to part with because I've had them for a while, but these are super cute. Also porcelain or ceramic. Matte. They'd be easy to paint. You can see it says Germany right here. I don't know if this one says Germany. It has a number on it, but yeah. I have made jewelry with these, not the bigger ones like this, but they're fun. You could make tassels with them as well because there's holes on either side and there's holes down here. You can make them into a doll if you'd like. A lot of times I've put flowers in the head because they have an opening here. Here's a doll that I started years ago. I never finished it, but this kind of gives you an idea how you can use the arms for the necklace part and then make some kind of tassel on the bottom. So these will be for sale as well. So I have this really old, I tried looking it up online and Googled it. I think I had Googled it once and I found it, but it was a while ago. It's an unopened party cake decorations. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at least 7 dolls in there, completely untouched. It's supposed to be a maypole decoration. It's from Los Angeles. Like I said, it's in its original package. It says happy birthday. There's a happy birthday. And then candles in there. It's super cute. But I need to start clearing stuff out. So I'm going to sell that. And I'm also selling an Edith Holden book. It doesn't have the sleeve on it, but it's in almost perfect condition. And this one is the Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. Those of you who are new to junk journals, these are super beautiful. It's based on the drawings and documentation from an artist named Edith Holden back in 1905 and 1906. Her niece had apparently had these made into books for people to buy and to enjoy. And the first publication was in 1977. This isn't a first edition, but it's from the 70s, no less. And all of the pages are kind of thick, and they look old. They look like you could see some of the ink. That's not dirt. That's just part of the drawings that she did. And they're just absolutely gorgeous. Beautiful inspiration. Like I said, it's in almost perfect condition. Nothing torn or ripped. And so I'm going to be selling one of these because I kind of went a little crazy and bought 4 of them. I don't need 4 of them. There's a little bit of a dent down here on this. But you can see, I mean, there's little bits of dent on the side here. But these go for at least, oh gosh, I've seen them go for as much as $60 here in the States. I'm not going to sell it for that much because I was able to get a good deal, I think, on all the ones that I bought. So it'll be below what you would normally pay like on eBay or Etsy. I think the normal price here is around $40. So that'll be also a part of the old stuff. Alright, so these are the things that you probably will really love. I love putting these things together. Lots of different pieces from purchases from years ago. And most everything is antique or vintage, like really vintage, not just like 20 years old. Like, I'll tell you if it's really new or if it's old, but for the most part everything's super old. So I will show you. I kind of had to put it all together like this so I wouldn't forget. So the first thing, this is a smaller type of a bundle that I've put together. I bought these beautiful cards because my name's Robin and my daughter's name is Violet, and I just thought they were so sweet. So it's the sweetest little card. It's just a plain card. So you're going to get one of those in this little bundle. And a nice, some pretty lace. This is not old. This is probably from the 70s or 80s. I think there's at least a yard on here, and it's on this cute little card. So that's going to come with this little bundle. Also, I put together a bunch of matchboxes that are completely stuffed with natural, neutral style, very old buttons. So you'll get a mix of really cool old buttons in here. And I stamped the bottom of each matchbook. I hope you can see that. The lighting is kind of weird right now. So that'll be a part of this little bundle here. And I glued this little image on here with another old button on top. And then I sewed the, I'm going to have to stuff this in a minute here. I sewed that old button and then glued it with some dyed cheesecloth. Okay, that's, for some reason it's not going in now. I'll have to do that in a minute. So you'll get one of those. This is just Tim Holtz paper and a really old button. And this is very old. I don't know much about lace, like the names. I know this is super old though. It might be like Cluny or Irish lace, vintage Irish lace. But there's about a foot of that. And I pinned it together with a bulb pin and old button. And this is super cool. It was probably going to be a collar for maybe a baby or a little girl's dress. That's kind of my thinking. You know, you kind of make stories up about all this old stuff and wonder what they were going to use it for, but it's so pretty. So that'll be a part of this little bundle. And then the big one here is this beautiful pillow sham. It's really old. It's made with a cotton organza. It's been gently washed. It has some embroidery here in the center, or the top center. And there's tiny little holes. It's very old. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's a little bit of staining, but like I said, I washed these gently and then laid them out to dry. All of this, you know, doing all that takes time. It's a process, but I don't really want to give you dirty linens, so. And yeah, there's like little tiny holes here. So, I mean, you could use this if you want to as is and put a little bolster pillow in there, or you could, you know, use it however you want to for altered art and journals. So that's that one bundle. And then I have another one that's a smaller bundle underneath this. So I'm going to spread this out because everything on below it is kind of distracting, I'm sure. So this is another pillow sham. Again, I've washed it, and this is the color that it is. It was actually darker than this, and then when I washed it, it became a little, probably the true color. It's this beautiful linen, and then all this amazing crochet work inside, and then crocheted edgings. Again, there's holes, but it's pretty amazing. It's fairly big too. It looks like it's almost a standard size pillow, maybe a little bit smaller, but the back looks like this. And then you're going to get some of my cute little yo-yos. These are from the 30s, from an old quilt. You're also going to get some more of this this beautiful old, probably antique lace. The little bird card and the other newer lace here. And then a box of buttons. So that's a smaller bundle. Now the next bundles I'm going to show you are the big mamas. Oh, actually, I have one more thing to show you. I do have a little bit of a rusty kit that I put together. And everything is small. If you want large pieces of rusty things, if you like doing assemblages with larger pieces, and I'm not talking like really large, but anywhere from, you know, 4 to 6 or 7 inches big, like horseshoes. I have the railroad nails. I forget the name of them. A lady had told me and I forgot. But this is smaller. This is for those of you who maybe want to use these in your journals, or you can use them in jewelry. So it's a mixture of things. This is very old, a measuring tape from a leather measuring tape that I bought years ago. Probably it's super old. I really don't know how old it is, but it's super cool. You're also going to get this cute little tin with its cocoa tin, and there's going to be goodies inside there. This is all original. The lid is kind of wonky. It's kind of hard to get off and on, so I'm going to fit it on there when I package it, but just know that it's not easy. It's very warped from being so old. And then this is super cool. W.H. Baker's trademark Best Cocoa. You're going to get that. I might package it in this little box if I can get it in this little box here. There's some rusty metal, some vintage kind of brownish ribbon. These are super rusty tart tins. These are great to use as bottoms for dolls. So if you get a glass, like I showed you the snowman bottles, if you put a glass on the bottom, or a bottle, and this on the bottom, they make really cool assemblages. There's also going to be 2 really old, rusty, grungy, again, very, very old, maybe even antique, watch faces. Enameled. This one's enameled and this one's metal. And then here's some more rusty. Oh, the rusty bits in here are smaller pieces. Some of these rusty nails. These would be good for altered art bottles too. These aren't old. I just took Tim Holtz jewelry pieces and then used alcohol ink on them, but I thought they looked kind of cool. So you get a couple different versions of these little charms in here, maybe 3 or 4 of them. I'll show you what's going to be in there. Maybe this one too. I was just experimenting with them, but I thought they'd be kind of fun. So these are newer. So that's a small little bundle that I'll be selling also in the store. And some of this rusty fabric lace. And then these are the big ones. So there's going to be 5 of these. I think what I'll do is I'll just take all of this off and then show you what's going to be in each bundle. All right, so this is the this is going to be the bigger bundle. There's going to be 5 of them. I had so much fun putting them together because I like packaging things. I like making things look cute. And then I thought I would make you guys something special. So I'll show you that at the end. So this is going to be kind of like a, well, it is like a junk journal kit. And then you can add on to it. It's not going to be everything you need, but normally in my junk journal kits that I sell in my store, they sell really, really well, but I never give you a cover because that's personal. So I've just figured if I put this out there and you know that this is what you're going to be getting, that, you know, and I kind of coordinated all the colors and everything. So it's more of a neutral, muted neutral colors. I'll show you the yummy book cover fabric. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love these colors. So if you like these colors and you think you want to use this for your journal, you can. It's bigger than you need if you're going to make one journal. You can also make 2 smaller journals, so they would be about this size if you want, and just cut it in half. In my junk journal course, which I'll leave a link down below, I go over how I put together my junk journals with fabric. So this is, pretty sure this is 100% linen. It's absolutely stunning. I love this muted aqua and these corals and some of these peachy colors and the dark browns, and then this light tan. So everything that's in the kit is kind of neutral and will match this. Everything stems from this. And this was what I used to put the kit together. So you'll get one of those, and I think it's 14 by, yeah, it's 14 by 12, I think. Yeah, it's 14 by 12. So you'll get one of those. You're also going to get one of these cool cards. These are from FG and Company. Gorgeous. You get one of those. You're also going to get a never opened, these are newer, these aren't old, little Irish rose heart shape doily. It's 100% cotton, and instead of opening them up, I'm just going to put them in your kit. Each bundle will get one of these. And I wanted to show you what it looks like when you dye it, if you wanted to coffee dye it. It's fairly big. It doesn't look big in the bag. It's 6 by 5.5 or 5 1/4. So it's a nice size doily. It's really sweet. So you can tea dye it or just leave it white if you want to. So you'll get one of those. You're also going to get that really awesome paper that I had last time from the 1880s, 1889, 1887. Original ledger paper. Super, super big. This is a huge ledger that I had got at a flea market. It's, gosh, I think it's about 17 inches long by 10 3/4. wide. So this is pretty cool. All handwritten. Really sturdy considering how old it is. So that will be folded because that's the only way I can send it in the package. You're also going to get a coffee dyed time card and one that's not. Those of you, I mean, there's tons of YouTube videos on what to do with time cards. I'll put a couple of videos down below to show you what I have done with them. In fact, I might even have a sample here somewhere. I'll show you in a minute. Let's see if I might have one right here. They're super fun to play with. Did I do one on here? I don't know if it's on here or not. I'll find one, or like I said, I'll have a link down below for one of my tutorials. So you'll get one of each. You'll get one that's not dyed, and then this one will be coffee dyed. And they're meant to be folded, so you can make really cool folded little mini journals. So you'll get one of each. You're going to get this cool little bundle. This is very cool trim. This is from Renaissance Ribbon, which is a very well-known, high-quality ribbon company. There's about 18 inches of that. It's kind of an Art Deco Egyptian style, and it happens to kind of go nicely with the color themes here. So there's about 18 inches of that. It's from France. And then this is really old. I don't know how old, maybe like the 50s or 60s. It's a sparkly sequin trim, and it has bullion on it, which is why I say it's older. Yeah, so that's pretty cool and fun. You can play with that as little accents for your journal, and there's about a foot of that. You're also going to get one of my handmade little bows from Hug Snug. And this is a Tropic Wine, I believe it's called. Tropic Wine. You're also going to get a cute little button. Again, another button container loaded with neutral color buttons, and then a vintage button on top of this Matchbox. This, I had one of these in the last bundles, and I had some left over, so I thought I would use them for this bundle. I added some stuff to them, though. So you're going to get, I have one open here. Gosh, I think there's a yard of this cotton twine, and this is what it looks like when it's dyed. You're not going to get it dyed. You can do whatever you want. It's great to stamp on. You can dye it any color you want because it is cotton. So you're going to get at least a yard of that. Then this is some of my favorite trim. I have a ton of it, so there's a yard of that in here. I use this all the time on my journals, and I love playing with it and edging my papers, the pages with this. It also has a button on it with a bulb pin. Then there's some very old antique, very delicate lace in here. And this is about a foot, and a bulb pin attached to that with a one of these little punched out card holders that I made. And you're going to get some extra lace in here. This is about a yard. This is new, but it's fun to dye. It's probably a polyester blend, but you can still dye it. I know because I've done it before. So, and then another bulb pin with a pretty button on it. And that's all going to go inside of here on this cool card that you can use in your journal once you've used it all up. And it's going to look like this. It's going to be real pretty with some vintage flowers and a little bow right there. And then this is the awesome, there's also, let me show you these first. So you're also going to get about a 6-inch piece of antique lace. It's wide. It's about 4 inches wide, and it's about, 6 inches long. So you're going to get a piece of that. And you're going to get 2 doilies. They're going to be on the bigger side. They're all going to be different because that's just how it is. These are all old. They're made with cotton. I'm going to get one of those. And then a heart shape. These are new. These aren't old. So just let me know when you buy one if you want the ecru or you want the white. These are dyeable because they're cotton. Really pretty though. My battery died, so I think I was saying that you can choose an ecru or a white heart doily. So you're going to get one of these, either white or ecru. If you don't tell me what one you want, I'll just put whatever in there. And you'll get a larger old doily. And then last but not least, this is the fun one, part of this whole bundle for me anyway. Most of you know what a snippet roll is. Well, I made snippet patches and they're so fun. I thought these would be great on their own. You could make little purses with them if you want. And by the way, I've sewed all of it. No gluing. Lots of really old laces and doily pieces and layers of yumminess. You'll get one of these in your bundle. And you can even, if you wanted to, you could cut it in half and use them for pockets. You know, put cardboard underneath and use them for pockets. You can use them as the front of your journal if you wanted to. So if you just wanted to put the whole thing on there, wouldn't that be pretty? You can use this as a cover in itself for a journal. So you're going to get one of these. Like I said, there's going to be 5 of these bundles available. Each one is different just because that's the nature of the way that they're made. But they're all going to be really pretty, amazing, and they all have really old and antique lace on them. So that's what you'll be getting. That's what I'm going to be listing. And like I said, it will be all listed by 5 o'clock Tuesday, March 2nd. The next clip I'm going to show you is my new jewelry collection for the spring. So if you want to stay and watch that, you can. Okay, so this is the jewelry portion. If you don't want to buy jewelry, then you might not want to see this, or you may. A lot of this stuff that I make, a lot of the jewelry I make, I teach also in my online school. So I'll put a link down below for my online classes. All right, so I'm selling 2 of my little old world miniature books. They're made into necklaces. This one, they both have the little eye on here, and they're highly decorated to look very, very old and ancient. Kind of hard to see. There's a leather spine, and then tiny, tiny beads. Everything's miniature on this. And lots of little dangles with some vintage and actually very old antique trade beads. And then some more fun dangles down here with a hand, a Tibetan hand, and a little eye here as well, an eye bead. I love these little beads. I'm hoarding them because I've never seen them before. I bought them from a friend of mine who is selling some of her stuff. And it actually opens. You can write in it if you want. And the leather spine is in here. There's 5 signatures. And handmade paper, dyed paper, cardstock, scrapbook paper. And then the necklace is pretty long. The gals that buy jewelry from me love necklaces, and I usually make them very long. They're easy to slip over. This has leather cord with a snake knot here. I also teach that. and some beautiful antique trade beads and turquoise. And then it loops with the barrel knot here onto these Middle Eastern connectors. And then this is deer leather, I should say. It's very soft. So this will go around your neck, and it's very comfortable. The next one is kind of similar. Same thing, it's with just different colors and different beads and everything. As you can tell, I love dangles. They take a long time to put on, but I just love the way they sound. And this has a shrinky-dink Hamza. Kind of like a henna hand. Old button. Vintage trinkets from the Middle East. And it's also made to look very, very old. And it has a leather spine with tiny little beads right here holding the signatures in place. And I put 2 little envelopes in here. Super dainty. This one, I think I have some lace in here. Yeah. So it's fun. It's kind of a novelty item. I went to Universal Studios for my birthday a couple years ago, and I wore it because I'm a Harry Potter fan. The only reason why I went to Universal Studios is to go to the Harry Potter park, and I made me feel like I was part of Harry Potter. And then it also has a snake knot right here that attaches to the book with some old antique beads from the African trade. And this one also has a leather cord, and it's adjustable, so you can tighten it and make it longer, or you can make it shorter like that. This is one I love. These are my favorite necklaces to wear, and I teach this also. It's a eclectic beaded crocheted necklace, and it was quite popular when I first started teaching it. I was constantly asked to teach it, and so now I have an online class. Some of you may have taken it from Jeanne Olivers, but now that I have my own online school, I get all the proceeds that when you register for my class in my online school. So this one, it's pretty long, and it's very colorful. These are very comfortable, just so you know. I very rarely keep the jewelry that I make. I sell pretty much everything that I make, but I have one that I've never, that I love, and I wear it all the time, and it's this style where there's 3 layers here. It just kind of gets a little crooked here. So it's attached to a chain, and then it's pretty long. This is a really beautiful, well-made chain with I'll show a little close-up of it in a minute. But it lays really nice. Takes a while to make these so that everything is kind of lined up nicely. Lots of beads from the Czech Republic, Picasso style, old buttons, some old ephemera, a little flower, crocheted flower, and this is one of my little tassels that I love making. This is an owl with a Picasso finish. It's from the Czech Republic as well, these beads are. And then I do a little sparkly little tassel at the very end. And that's attached in the center row. And then there's an old coin on the bottom center, the bottom layer of the necklace. And then there's a crystal in this one in the center. That's a real crystal. So I just love these bright blue colors. It's just really fun, and it'll go with everything. I wear mine all the time whenever I go out. And I thought this looked pretty. This was unexpected. I made another necklace, and it kind of looks nice layered with it. It's a shorter necklace. I mostly make long necklaces, but this one I made short because the focal is a beaded bead that I made, and I wanted it just to be, you know, the focal of the necklace. So there's a deep indigo blue, cobalt blue, sparkly crystals in the center of this. And then it's attached to this kind of, I think this is an old chain, very delicate. And then you can adjust it here with this right here. I put an old clasp, which is really easy to take off and on. It just almost slips right on there. You don't have to pinch anything. You just kind of you just have to pinch it just a little bit right there, and it comes right off. And then when you put it on any one of these loops, you can just slip it right on like that. And it's like I said, it's not very long. It's more of a kind of goes, you know, into the, I don't know, that part in your neck where there's a little divot. So it's, I mean, it could get to be like 13, about 12, a little over 12 inches long this way. But when you measure necklaces, normally this is how it's done. So from the end of the hook, there's 12. 40, 50, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. About 20 inches. It can get up to 20 inches. So 18 is a fairly common size, so you can adjust it about 2 inches longer if you need to. And I just love it. These are hard for me to sell because they take so much time. But I'll hold on to things for a while, and then I'm like, okay, it's time to let it go. And it's just gorgeous, I think, anyway. And then here's a whole other set that I put together. They're not going to be sold as a set, but I just think they look pretty because they're kind of all in the same color palette, which is one of my favorite color palettes. It's the turquoise color. So I'll start with this one. This is also similar. It's the same technique as this 3-layered one, but it's just one layer. It's very simple, and it has all these earthy tones, and you can just wear it as a necklace, as a simple necklace. There's no focal point on it, but it's just really beautiful and earthy. Beautiful Czech Republic Picasso style beads, a lot of them. There's some brass beads on there, real brass, and then these beautiful super dark red, kind of blood red, Picasso red cut crystal beads. So this is pretty long. It has a clasp on it, but you literally just can slip it over your head. If you wanted to, you could double it and then wear it a little bit shorter. If you have a wrist that's a little bit larger than mine's about 6.5. You can actually wrap it around your wrist about 4 or 5 times. If you can still wear it on your wrist, if you have a smaller wrist, it'll just be a little bit loose. So, for example, and you don't want to wear these in the water or in the shower. You need to take them off because the cord I use is very, very, very durable, but it will relax once it's worn. So, how did I do this one? Oh, yeah, it's pretty loose if you were to wear it if you have a smaller wrist, but you can do it, like I said. It would be more like this. I'm not going to clasp it because I put it on the wrong side, but it looks really cool. And then I have this one. This is really beautiful hand braided waxed cord. That, by the way, both of these cords are synthetic, but they're extremely durable. And I've had mine for several years and they last forever. There's freshwater pearls on here, rice pearls, that I braided into the cord. And then I made a cute little, one of my little tassels. This one has an elephant. And you can take it off if you want to. It has a lobster clasp, so you can just wear it on its own, or you can put it on if you want to add. You could even add it to another chain if you wanted to. But it has the same little tassels of beads down here. And it's this beautiful turquoise color with some amber highlights. And this one, I'll measure the other one. I forgot to measure. It's pretty long. So there's 12, 24. So it's 29, and then it can be adjusted because I did put a little extender on there. But like I said, you can just slip it over your head. There's that one. This one, before I go on, this one's, I'm going to just measure this like this and just double it. So that's 12. And 19. So 28. Wait, 19. 30. 38, is that right? Yeah, 38 inches long, but you know what I mean. And then this one is pretty decadent. This is Peruvian opal. It's cut. It's a cut stone, so it's absolutely gorgeous. If you love turquoise color, it looks like it's turquoise, but it's Peruvian opal. And then there's some agate beads in there. These are vintage. They might even be antique Middle Eastern beads. They're a copper color. And then I've macrameed them onto this cord with my initials on there in sterling silver. These are very old Middle Eastern beads, and a connector, and that connects to a Coptic cross. I believe it's from Ethiopia. And you can just slip this one right over your head too, so that's 12. So it's about 44 inches long. This one is, I was part of the design team for Tim Holtz at one point when he first came out with his jewelry line. And so I made this necklace out of, it's all Tim Holtz stuff, so it's not old, but it's still fun. It's the same kind of hard to show you this on camera because I can't, it's so long, but it has all Tim Holtz charms on it, and it looks like I put 4 layers of chain on here. Like that, and it's hooked onto one of those large chunky chains with some different charms and connectors. There's a big hook here, and yeah, there's a little vial, and then this cute little booklet that opens. And I'll probably put something in there. So this one's really long too. Just slip it over your head. I'll put the measurement. It's probably boring for you to keep watching me measure everything. Just know that it's long. Pretty much everything I'm showing you can be slipped over your head. This one's not done completely, but I thought I would show it to you. It's beautiful colors. It's a beaded bead that I made as the focal, and it has like a sage, brick, and cream color combination. So that's the whole color combo. Very unusual. There's this is like a copper color leather cord with some mala prayer beads on the very end here. And these connectors that I made with some Czech Republic Picasso style beads. And then this gorgeous rustic chain that has a bit of a floral scroll on it, connected to more of the connectors here, and then these large brass rings attached to some leather. The leather is going to be different than this. I just, I'll probably be finishing this up and have better pictures when I list them. And yeah, this one's a long one too. This one you'll be able to slip over your head, anywhere from 36 to 44 inches long. And this is the last one. This was a class that I taught, and I do teach in my online school. It's the slow stitch snippet necklace. So this is the sample that we made in class, and I show you from start to finish how to make everything. We do the slow stitch pouch, and it opens and you can put things in there. Beautiful old pieces of buttons and lace and doilies. Attached to the bottom is a fun little tassel, and this is an old mother of pearl buckle, and some more tassels here. Just a lot of fun stuff, and there's some beautiful slow stitched pieces in the back. And then it's attached to a snippet roll that we make in the class. And then I show you how to do all of this. And I talked to you about composition and my thought process for making necklaces that are asymmetric like this. And then it's attached chain, pearl chain, and double chain here. I'll show you how to make this nifty little connector that I kind of came up with. All of the beads on here are pretty old. This backing isn't old, but mother of pearl button and everything. So that will be it. Thank you so much for your time and for watching. I appreciate it. Come back next week and we will definitely finish that cute little book. And I will see you tomorrow, or today, at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on my Etsy store. The link is going to be down below. Thanks again.